Alright guys, welcome back to IG8Live Esports. So this evening we're live for round 1 for another new season with NOMEX Championship, and this is going to be for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Should be quite an interesting one. We're already getting started with qualifying 1. We got a few cars heading out on track, and luckily enough for us, we also have a full grid today. 20 drivers on. Hopefully everyone can finish off the race, or at least majority of them, depending on how much practice these guys had on the track. So let's see what's happening. In the meanwhile, I do get a few stats up on screen, and we can have a look and just see what's going on. So basically everyone's going to be out most likely on the soft tires. A few drivers might try this on the mediums just to test the track out and see what the grip level is like out there, especially getting across some of those curves. So let's have a look at our grid. We do have quite a few drivers out. And welcome to everyone currently in the chat there. Good to see John getting back on one of my streams again. Has been a while, as he's been telling me there. I'm glad everyone is liking the new updates on the channel as well. Also, thanks to Zia there for sharing the stream on his Facebook page. Do appreciate that very much. And Ladislav there for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Thanks very much for that as well. I see GM Martz has followed us on Twitch there, so glad to have that happen there as well. Why is Ace driving so slow? I think he's trying to get started on his hot lap there, so let's see what's going on with that. And thanks to David as well for subscribing to the channel there. I do appreciate that as well. Let's get that off screen so we can have a look and see what's happening. So on board right now with Ace here. Let's see how his hot lap is going, and not as well as he possibly expected there. Did keep the car out of barriers there though, avoiding damage at least for the moment. So it does seem to be a bit slippery getting around turn 1 so far. That's going to make it a bit interesting, especially for the race start when we do get around to that point. We'll see what's going to happen in that case, because it does tend to get a bit bunched up getting through T1 on opening lap. As we usually know, a bit of a run getting down to turn 1 as well. So that's going to be a situation to look out for, possibly for a safety car at the start of this race, if that's going to happen. Then we'll see what's going to happen. So Ace is going to have to try that lap once again. So that's going to be a lap wasted on that set of tires. Let's have a look, see what's happening else out on track. So JD in the Aston Martin. Let's see what's happening with that current lap here. And does get a lap time in a 1:16.6 so far. Of course, I haven't tested out the Hungary on the game so far, so I'm not sure what the lap times should be looking like on this. Of course, not sure what lap times will be looking like on a lot of tracks, since everyone's still getting used to this just a bit. So we'll see what's going to happen in that case there. So we got a few more lap times in. We're starting to range around 115 going on to 117. I think by the time we get around to Q2 and Q3, we should get some more consistent lap times and have an idea where we're going to be at with this. So let's see how qualifying 1 goes. We're just going to wait for some more lap times to get on in here. So Ballistic currently P1, 115.0. It's a pretty good lap time, at least I think. That should hold up pretty well, at least for now. Got X-Ray in the Haas. Trying for a hot lap right now. Let's get on board a bit and see how that lap is going. Seems to be going so far. Game is broken on Series X, which is what I play on. Oh yeah, I know you got it on Xbox. I think it does have some issues on, I think probably on all platforms at the moment, because I see a lot of people are reporting a lot of issues with the game in terms of, I think mostly in terms of getting around most of these turns and some of these curves as well. I'm not sure, but there seems to be a lot of issues still going on. Did notice a few issues yesterday on the first stream I did. For an online race, there seems to be a bit of a glitches still happening on this game here. Not really coming from 2020, but just a few things that they do need to work on and fix. I'm not sure, but yeah, but the multiplayer is where most of the issues definitely will be. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. Hopefully, we get some patches in that fix these issues, unlike what we have happening with 2020. I'm not sure what's gonna happen as yet, but I think everyone's gonna be looking forward most likely for the multiplayer issues to be fixed. And yep, the curves are really they're very little this year. As you can see, majority of drivers have been having some issues on them. Had a race yesterday, had only about 8 drivers out of 20 I think finished the race, and that was at Belgium. So a bit unforgiving for some of these curves that we have on track, so we'll see how drivers get around with that. So far as we have it, Ballistic still fastest on track with a 115.0. 810 slower is X-Ray currently in second. We got Doom Vista 116.3, not too bad of a time, and so both houses currently second and third on the grid. I think they're holding up pretty well at the moment. Got JD down to fourth, 116.6. We got Just there fifth, 117.1. Ice One is sixth, 117.9. Just range on down through to that. Ace not having the best laps or best luck out there at the moment to that Mercedes, 142.8. I think he's gonna get fired. Let's see if someone just went in the middle. I think Scooby just went 117.1. So we got a few more lap times coming in as we go. J Mart here, 141.6. Not the best of luck with that car there as well. And he's driving the Ferrari. So let's see what's going to happen by the end of this at least. Eruptor here in the Williams. Let's see what not having the best of luck either. As you can see, the entire front wing is already gone from that car. So I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but I think the first few rounds for I think majority of the leagues are gonna be just a bit of chaos happening, especially by the time the first half of the race is over. At least we'll see what's gonna go on with that. But so far, I think guys are trying their best just to get used to the game as it is, and trying to make the best out of the handlings with the cars. But it seems to be just a bit difficult, or a bit more unforgiving than expected, especially the online mode of the game so far. So we'll see what's going to happen, but there are a few glitches, especially on the online version. I've played a bit of it on the career side, not too much, but still a lot of issues going on. So we got at least more than half of the grid so far here with the lap times in. I think we're ranging between the 115 and to 117. A 2-second gap, so we'll see. We'll keep it just in that range at least for now. I think everyone's trying to improve their time from those 142s, and I think J Mart has already improved. He went to 117.7 up to 11th. Ace down to 12 still, 142.8. I think he's at another outlap, possibly trying to get a faster time in. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. Got Jonathan going fastest in the Q1 session so far, 114.8, and I definitely will hold him off over into Q2. We'll see what's going to happen in that case, but that's a pretty good time so far from him. I think that holds up pretty well. Definitely, I don't think he needs to be worried about it, but I think everyone's trying to get as much track time as they can, especially on the session itself. And yeah, I'd have to agree with you. F1 2021 has been quite difficult to adjust to, just getting on it, even for the first time. Because, you know, even being used to the older games, when you get onto the new one, it's usually not that hard to just make a transition over, even though the handling on the cars usually is a bit different. Braking zones are different, but still it is relatively more difficult this year in terms of, I think mostly for some of these curves, you gotta just be so careful on the throttle getting off of them, and especially how you get onto them as well. Minor mistakes just throw that car into the wall, and that's it, is over. And then the new damage model that it got on, it just doesn't help with that even as it is. So hopefully they do fix the issues. We'll see what's gonna happen in that case. Oh, David has some support for Pollock there. And where is Pollock? I think he's down in 11th in the McLaren. Back in the pit. So 117.1. Not a bad time. Remember, we got 20 drivers in the grid. We are going to have the top 15 should be going over to qualifying 2. Let's see how that's going to work out. Who is currently running on track? We do have a few drivers running out. Killer 94 here running down at the bottom here. Let's see what's going on at the moment here. So another Aston Martin driver on a lap here at the moment. Also think the engine songs do have some issues as well. As I'm hearing that Aston Martin here right now, it does switch it to a different song after at least half a lap or so. So I'm not sure if that's an issue on my end or what the heck is happening with that, but they do have a lot of issues to fix on this game. Hopefully the update that they do release will be fixing all of this. I'm not sure. Didn't really notice any big issues so far with the restarts, other than the grid got mixed up for like a split 3 seconds or so, and then just kind of fixed itself. So hopefully that's not going to be something to worry about again, because that was one of the most annoying things that we had happening on F1 2020, where the restart, the entire starting grid gets mixed up, and if you're not even following correctly, and I'm sure who's in front and who's at the back. Not sure why that used to happen, but let's see what's going to happen in that case. So Lucky goes 117.8 up to 15. Still got a few drivers yet to make some time in. Got Luna and Alfine trying to get another time in here, but he doesn't have a time as yet. Night Shadow, unfortunately, out of qualifying at the moment. I haven't been doing much commentary lately either as well. It's been a few weeks actually since I started back yesterday. That was the first stream. That was actually the first commentary stream we did here on 2021. Since I know 2020 most of the leagues had finished, so I just took a break off of that a bit and was a bit busy as well. So now I'm actually getting back started with this to see what's happening. And there we go. Touch that curb just a bit, and that's what happens. So they do have to be extra careful getting around here, especially in terms of fighting for positions. It's gonna get a bit crazy, especially here at Hungary. We'll see what's gonna happen on this track, as we know some of these curves are not easy to deal with. Even back in 2020 it was a bit difficult. So we'll see how these guys are gonna handle. So 121.4, not the best of laps. He's probably gonna try that again. Got Kieran Barr here. Let's see where he's going. Driving in the Red Bull. Still yet to get a time in. Hopefully he does get a good time in here. Let's see what's going to happen in that case. Got some time left. Just under 6 minutes left for Q1. And then we're going to head straight on over to qualifying 2. Hopefully everyone is enjoying the stream so far. Guys, don't forget to make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure you are following us on Twitch. And I think we're being hosted on the league's Twitch as well, which I forgot to post the link in the description, but I'll be doing that continuing on from round 2 going onwards. I think we're going to be working on doing some highlights as well this season going on forward here. I'm trying not to take on too many leagues, at least for 2021. Just keep it a bit minimum with that, because I do want to do some other streams as well. Alright, so Kieran Barr goes 117.4. I think we got quite a few 116s in the mix so far, which is where most of the drivers are. Jonathan's still holding on to that 114 though. I think that's holding up pretty well, and that's definitely going to take him over to Q2. Still holding on P1. Let's see if he's able to repeat that though in qualifying 2. I think Mad Nathan there is the only driver yet to make a qualifying time here in Q1. There are a few adjustments I do need to make in terms of this mic though. Hopefully have some time this week to do that, because I had to add a noise suppression on just to avoid it catching the song of the fan on the PC there. So far so good with that, but still I got a few more adjustments to make before we can get a bit more clarity in terms of audio level with it. Hopefully everything is going clearly so far. I'm just trying to have a look, make sure everything is on. That should be on, and I didn't put anything extra on. Alright, so far so good. Let's have a look. So less than 4 minutes left. Who else is running on track here at the moment? I think it looks like Luna might try for another lap time here if he's going to be able to go on. Let's see what's going to happen. I see Ace got up to 6 with a 116.0. Not a bad time. So still, we range 114.6 fastest, 118.2 slowest on this track here at the moment. Of course, we know a lot of guys are still getting through to practicing on most of the tracks as it is. I really haven't taken the time to even practice much on tracks, so I'm not really going to be doing any much racing in terms of league racing this season going on through, unless I have the time for it. Might do a few streams with that if I do get a chance to. Of course, I want to try to get some practice in rather than just crashing out on lap 1. So we do have a few drivers on track. I think at the moment, I think Ballistic is getting back out on track. I want to see if he's able to beat Jonathan's time. As a 115.0 is not too far off. Only about 4/10 is what the difference is. So does have a good possibility of actually getting by. We'll see what that's going to work out. I think it was interesting though they added the that version on 2021 to allow 2 separate players to do the career mode on it. as teammates. I haven't got a chance to try that one out because I don't have anyone to try that one with, because we got to get like a constant day of the week to do that every week just to get that stream going. If I'm going to try to do something like that, I don't know, I'll have to look into that if we're going to do something like that here on the channel. I'm not sure as yet, but would be fun to have it done. I don't know if you guys want to see us me and someone else do that, just let me know. We'll have to set a specific day and time, and that will be a weekly thing, going on through the career mode with a actual teammate on the 2021 game, because I've seen quite a few people do it and it looks to be a lot of fun. Alright, so we got most of our drivers are probably going to be retiring off the session here right now, because we're down to just under 2 minutes, I think. And I said the same thing yesterday on stream. That graphic that they have there showing lap 2 of the driver, it's covering the time left in the session. So really not a wise move on their end. They should probably put that maybe in the middle of the stream or something. I'm not sure. I think they should have, they probably should change it where they're actually putting that. Because I'm just actually keeping an eye and seeing how much time is actually left in the session. Alright, so less than a minute left in qualifying 1. We're going to have a look at the results in just a bit. Looks like Mad Nathan did not get a qualifying time in. Unfortunately, that means probably he's going to be starting now in 19th on the grid. Night Shadow there will be starting 20th as he's out of the session pretty early off. Hello Games for Life, thank you for joining on. Has been a while. Do love having you guys in the chat there. A lot of fun to see everyone join on in. Hopefully we're able to get a few things done before we get on to round 2 next week with most of the leagues, and there's going to be a special bit of addition into the stream. Of course, you're going to have to catch a start of it to actually get to see what we're going to be doing. So if I do get to do that, that should be a lot of fun. Hey Jordan, thanks for joining on. How are you doing? So I'm really not switching between cars right now because we're just at the end of qualifying 1. I'm just waiting for the results to load so we can just have a look at what exactly happened there. But we can basically see what it is. I don't think anything else will really change. I think Luna probably is the only driver on track there at the moment. Let's have a look at that. And he's running in Sector 3, so he's about to finish off that lap there, and we should get straight over to the results for Q1. Then head on straight to qualifying 2, then that's going to be about 50 minutes, and qualifying 3 another 12 minutes, and then straight into the race session for close to about 45-50 minutes, 55 minutes, depending on how many safety cars we're going to have. Any bets on that this evening, guys? I'm not sure. Anyone want to suggest how many safety cars are going to be in this race? Yesterday, this race had about 5, I think. I lost count after 4. I think I had either 5 or 6. I think it was 5. I don't know how many safety cars you guys expect in this one. So let's see what's going to happen in this case. Oh, Jordan is X-Ray Delta on track. So 6 at the moment for him in qualifying 1, 1:15.8. I gotta say, that's not a bad time here. Compared to what the rest of the grid have so far, I think that's a pretty good qualifying time. Should be able to repeat that in Q2 and possibly get it over to Q3 in the top 10. And let's see how that's gonna go. Good luck on that. And either way, be careful on the curbs. I think we're going to say that to everyone, and let's see what's going to happen. Alright, so results here for qualifying 1. Fastest time in this session goes to the Williams driver Jonathan there with a 1:14.6. Let's see if anyone's going to beat that as we get on over to qualifying 2. So J Mart was second fastest in the session. Ice One third fastest. We got Justin fourth. We got Cammy there fifth. X-Ray Delta there sixth. Ace in seventh. JD 8th. Doomfist in 9th. Killer 94J in 10th. And we got Europe 311. Pollock there in 12th. We got Scooby there 13th. Lucky there 14th. And that's going to be our 14 drivers who are going to be heading off into qualifying 2. Of course, just short 1 of 15 because Night Shadow was out early off in the session. So it does tend to happen that way sometimes. Even though we have 20 drivers, if one of these drivers didn't have that session too early off, it does actually just go one less when it's going over to qualifying 2. And thank you very much to Wildflower for hosting us on her Twitch channel there. I'm going to start putting the links to everyone who hosts our Twitch channel into the description of the video in the following week. Probably add something on stream as well, just to say thank you to everyone. Alright, so into qualifying 2, we're down to already 14.5 minutes here. We got cars heading out on track already. Let's get a few stats up. Telemetry, we really don't need that right about now. We're going to keep tires on, of course, in this session to have a look what the qualifying tires are going to be for the cars here. You know, some of these guys are going to go on the mediums, some are going to go on softs. Just depending on what strategy they're going to be planning to run in the race. As the usual going goes through qualifying 2, whatever the whatever set of tires they do the fastest laps on is what they start the race on, despite how many laps they have run on it, which is why they're going to be a bit more careful here in terms of the amount of laps they actually run on a set of tires, because once you make the fastest lap on it, that's where you're going to be starting the race in, unless it's a wet race start, which I'm not sure what we're having as yet in terms of weather conditions. It has been dry so far here in qualifying. We're into qualifying 2 already. Looks pretty sunny. Bit of drifting off of that Mercedes I've just seen there. I'm not sure. There's been a lot of drifting in F1 2021 since this game has been out in terms of driver getting around. Either way, we're going to just keep it on that for the moment and just see how well this is going to go. Of course, no, we don't have any standings as yet. It is only the first race of the season here. Of course, guys, once again, this is NOMEX Championship Tier 1 here on Mondays every week at 8 p.m. GMT. It's like 3 p.m. Eastern for me. And we're going to have Tier 2 on Thursday at 8 p.m. as well. So join us again then for that. I think that should be our next esports stream. We might have other streams in between of that. Not going to probably be esports. We're going to see what's going to happen in that case. I'm not sure as yet. But if you want to know more, there's a link to join our Discord in the description of the video on YouTube. And on Facebook as well. It should be there. Join on through and notifications will be posted there on what we're going to be doing in terms of the upcoming week. So we're just going to keep it week by week in terms of stream schedule, at least for now. Kind of got to just work that on my work schedule as well, so that's why we're doing that. We might have a week or two maybe in between the season as we go on through, depending if I'm available or not. Sometimes we'll probably have someone else cover on. I should be having Kieran Barr join me on Thursday for commentary. I hear someone else wants to join, but I don't think we're gonna let him. And he's sitting in 7th at the moment on the grid. So hopefully that should be a bit fun, having someone else on to chat with in the stream as we get on through. I gotta get it set up on the on my end, make sure that it's gonna be allowed through as well. So it should be a lot of fun. So we got some lap times coming in already. Eruptor there, a 1:15.5. Now remember, we had the fastest lap I think we had in Q1 was a 1:14.6 from Jonathan. He is still in the pits. Let's see what's going to happen in terms of the fastest lap time here. Now remember, some of these cars will be running on soft, some will be running on mediums. Most of them seem to be running laps on the medium here at the moment. Eruptor still fastest. We got Cami there, 1:15.7, only about 2/10 off. Another 2/10 below that. X-Ray Delta goes with a 1:15.9, and he does that on the mediums there as well, so a bit more impressive. And lap time is that close and actually done on the mediums rather than the softs. Because remember, guys, the soft tires are way faster in terms of lap time than the mediums, but kind of just depends on the track and the driver and the setup on your car as well. Of course, with the game still being so new, I think setups are something we're still tweaking and working on at the moment. And of course, with the updates coming on the game, it's going to be tweaked a bit more getting on through that. We got lap times coming in one after the other here right about now. I'm going back to JD here in the next Aston Martin, see what's going on with that at the moment. So as we have it, Eruptor still fastest in session at 1:15.5, Camry 1:15.7, Delta still down to third with 1:15.9. Then we go on down to the 1:17s with Ace there in fourth, Lucky the 1:17.1, Killer 94G 1:17.199, off by about 700th of a second, and Jussie down to 7th, 1:24.4. Not the best of time. J Martin 8, 1:33.4. They're gonna try and make a better time as they get on out for their second lap, possibly do a second lap on that same set of tires. We'll see what's gonna happen in that case. On board with Ice One in the Alpine at the moment. And you might notice some of these guys might be trying to avoid those curbs as much as possible. Reason being, they are quite slippery in terms of getting on and off them, and just, I don't know, just throws the car into a barrier down at the side of the track, which you cannot bring it back from. Iceland goes 1:17.2 so far. Not too bad with that. Pollock here on a out lap in the McLaren at the moment. Let's see how that's going to be going for him. Should be getting started pretty soon. We're going to have a look and see how the time goes. So far, Eruptor still fastest in the session at 1:15.5. And I think, well, usually what it is qualifying 3 is where we see the fastest lap time there in the session. Once again, thanks to everyone joining on the stream live with us here, whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook watching. Feel free to share the stream link out on your socials or wherever you can. The more viewers we can get watching these races, the more fun it can be for us as well. Just trying to create a bit more awareness about it. I mean, it's a lot of different leagues doing races. Just depends on how good. I think we had a bit of a glitch for a second. I think when that glitch happens, I'm not sure if it's my end or the driver's end. Could be my end, I'm not sure. But the internet on my end is pretty good, so not supposed to be on this end. And there goes Jonathan now taking away the fastest lap in the qualifying 2 session at 1:15.3. Of course, remember, he did a 1:14.6 back in qualifying 1. Of course, that was on the soft tires there. He did this on the mediums, and that's actually quite impressive for having the fastest lap in Q2 on medium tires, where a majority of the car behind you are on mediums, but some drivers will be on softs. Just trying to make it on through into the top 10 to get over to qualifying 3, which is where they got to be, but best to try and actually get it within the top 6 at least, because there usually is quite a bit of change of happening down at the end of qualifying sessions, especially qualifying 3. We're going to see how that goes by the time we get around to that. We're getting close after the end of Q2 pretty soon, I think. Actually, no, we still got about just under 8 minutes left, so still a bit of time to get through that. And thank you very much for sharing that out there, Jordan. Really do appreciate that. And that lap time is actually pretty good so far. I think you're being, it's holding you up in a pretty good position on the grid at 1:15.9 up there in P4. Definitely will take you over to qualifying 3. And I think from that point, just try as best as possible to keep it in the top 4, top 5 if you can for the race start, because it's going to be a bit critical in terms of being out in the front, getting through to turn 1 on that race start, because it definitely is going to get bunched up in the midfield, which is definitely where you don't want to be getting started here at a race for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We'll see how well that race start is going to go, but I do expect, I'll be honest with you, I expect there is possibly going to be a safety car on that opening lap before even the end of Sector 1 at least. We'll see what's going to happen in that case, but usually getting around turns 1 and 2 does prove to be a bit treacherous for drivers, and we're definitely going to expect contact between cars. We might have some damage, some broken front wings. We might even, I'm not sure how bad it's going to get, but we'll see what's going to happen. But I do expect we might end up having a safety car in that case. Alright, so far 117.7 out of Pollock there. He's now down to 12 for that, of course. So in the drop zone, we got Ice 1 there, 11, Pollock 12, Just there 13, Scooby there in 14th. You got to make top 10 at this point here to make it over to qualifying 2. We still got a lot of time left. It's still about 6 minutes left to go. Of course, it does give you time to do at least 2 laps more, but it's going to be on the same set of tires, because you got to watch the time that it takes to get an out lap done, then get an actual hot lap done, then get an in lap back into the pits. So let's see what's happening with the rest of our drivers out front at the moment. J-Mart in the Ferrari. Let's see where he is. In 5th, below Jordan here. So let's see what that lap time is going to hold. He's going back into the pace either way. So possibly getting on a new set of tires. Possibly getting on the softs. We'll see what's going to happen. As you see, Ace, Doom Vista, JD, and Lucky went onto the softs. They were previously on the mediums with the lap times that they did. So they try to get on the softs, possibly trying to get a faster time in. I think Ace is currently on an outlap on that soft tires, and we'll see if he's going to get a faster time in or not. I'm going to have a look at that right now. Yeah, so he's still on the outlap, which is why he's not actually flooring it at the moment with that car going on through. Just trying to keep those tires as long as possible, trying to get a start going, and around the final turn going around here right now, back onto that pit straight and about to get started on it. So Jonathan retired from the session. Pretty happy with his time at 1:15.3. It is the fastest time in the session. We're on board with Ace right about now. This is a rundown into turn 1, what it's going to look like on race start, and it's a pretty sharp right-hander getting around here, which we're going to have a lot of spins probably happening. Cars going wide on the left side, and we'll see what's going to happen. Getting down here into turn 2, going to be a bit dangerous as well, as cars will be fighting to check it on the inside, get an overtake done, and then to turn 3. I think we'll get a bit clear after that. But the car is starting to get a bit spaced out, and then we'll see how the rest of that lap goes, but I do expect we might have some issues happening on opening lap. Usually does tend to happen that way, but we'll see what happens in that case. Lap times are not looking overly bad right about now, given the state of the game as it is right about now. We got a 115 going down to 117. We're keeping within that 2-second gap, so really not too bad with it. We still got Scooby yet to make a lap time in. A few drivers are out. Killer Johnny 4J is out of this session so far in 11th, which means he's not going to be going over to qualifying 3. Ice One, Pollock, Scooby, they're going to have to try possibly to make a better time if they want to get over to that session. Of course, we got Doom Vista, JD, and Lucky there. They're not in the best of positions. If the cars below them get a better time or even a faster time in, they are going to be pushed down the order and possibly get knocked out of qualifying 3. So we'll see how that's going to go. Less than 3.5 minutes left. And they're going to have to just be careful about this. Let's see what's going to happen. Trying to have a look on board with Ace and see what sort of line he's using getting around the track here at the moment. I think he's just trying to take it easy on those curves and trying not to mess this lap up. He wants a faster time right about now. And there goes that lap. Oh, actually, no, it's not. You see, there is a bit of glitch happening. He didn't actually go off track, but I don't know why it shows it that way sometimes. So that is a bit of a glitch. Shows on our end. I don't think that shows on the driver's end. Why that happens, I'm not sure. But the game actually expects that to happen. Alright, so he's getting a bit twitchy there right now. Let's see how good that lap is going. I don't think he has any purple sector so far on this current lap. Alright, so most of our drivers will retire off the session. Goes a bit wide but doesn't invalidate. Let's see, gets across the line. Actually improves the time. Is up to P3 right about now. 115.7. Not a bad time there from him. So makes a pretty good lap time. Is going to make it on over to qualifying 3 as it is. And Ice One just makes it up to P3 as well. Pushes the entire grid down. Now Lucky is out of the top 10. JD is in a bit on the drop zone there. Okay, so if one more driver makes a better time, he is going to be out. We still have Pollock in the McLaren. Let's have a look at where he is on track. He is in sector 2, and I think he's running a lap. He is running a lap at the moment. Let's see if that's going to be a faster lap. Does seem to be flying at the moment as well. Goes a bit wide though. Doesn't seem to be invalidated. Actually a purple sector 2. So he's on for a pretty good lap here. This might just push JD down another position and push him out of qualifying 3 if Pollock here is able to make a faster time than a what does he have? A 116.9. Just need a 116.8. And about to get across the line. What does he get? And goes P6 at 115.8. Actually gets a whole second faster than we expected there. And pushes JD down. Now we got Doom Vista in P10 at the moment. About to get knocked off of this. And he has a minute left on an outlap here at the moment. About to get started on his final qualifying lap here. Let's see if he's able to improve that time. Desperately needs to improve it right about now to keep himself going over to qualifying 3. We do have drivers below this are running laps here at the moment, so going to be a bit critical to see if he's actually able to improve his time. And we do have drivers who might be improving time. Scooby there on a lap, hasn't made a lap time as yet. Okay, so JD is out. Killer 94G already out. Lucky's still running a lap. Scooby running a lap. Those are two drivers that might be making better times if they just have it in those set of tires that are running on. That's going to put both Jersey and Doom Vista in a potential position of getting knocked out of Q3 if that does happen here. We'll have a look at the timer in a bit when that yeah, there we go. So less than 10 seconds left. So final run for whoever is running a hot lap on track. Let's see if the Haas driver can pull it off. And there goes Lucky. Goes fastest in the session right now. Pushes Doom Vista down to 11. So he needs to get a better time than a 116.3 in order to push himself over into qualifying 3 right about now. Not a bad time from Lucky there. 115.3 goes about 700th of a second faster than what Jonathan did. So might be challenging him for a podium position or from a potential front row start. We'll see what's going to happen in that case. And actually doesn't get a faster time. That's going to be it for him. And for Scooby there as well at 118.0, which is what he did. And I think that's it for the session. Justin here should be safe there in P10 with his 116.3. Let's have a look at the results when that does come up and see what's going to happen. Alright, so qualifying results for Q2. Fastest lap time goes to the Aston Martin driver, Lucky there, with a 115.3. 7, just about 700 per second faster than what Jonathan did, and he is second on the grid with that. Eruptor in third, Ice One fourth, Ace in fifth, not a bad time. Cammy there 6, Pollock in 7. We get X-Ray Delta there in 8, J Martz in 9th, and Chelsea barely making the cut over to Q3 there in 10th in the Mercedes. So both Mercedes make it over, both McLaren make it over, and both Williams there. Looks like it's just one Haas, one Ferrari, one Alpine, and one Aston Martin going over to Q3. Hopefully they're able to make a pretty good start, and we'll see how that's going to go. Okay, so into qualifying 3, 12 minutes on the clock. Already down to about 10.5 minutes. Sorry about the minute and a half. No comms on that. I'm just trying to make sure I have this on here. Yeah, so let's see what's going to happen in this session. And we got majority of our cars already out on track. Looks like Jonathan is going to be the first to set a lap time in. So we do expect some pretty good lap times in, and let's get a few stats on my screen. I just forgot about that actually there. So lap data on. I know everyone's going to be running on the soft tires there, so we're not going to keep that on. Telemetry will keep that off as well. We really don't need that in this session right about now. So let's see how our top 10 are going to perform here for qualifying 3. We do expect some pretty good lap times in. They're going to be fighting this pretty well, and let's see if the Williams driver here can get a potential front row start there. So provisional pole is up for grabs on this one between Jonathan and possibly where's our next driver, between Lucky there, because the two of them have had fastest laps in qualifying so far. Jonathan held on to 2 fastest laps. Lucky had 1 there in Q was it Q2 or Q3 I think. So far a 114.4 comes off of Jonathan here. Let's see who's going to be the next driver getting a time in. Eruptor goes 114.8, only 4/10 off. So we're going to get a bit competitive with this getting into this session here. Let's see what's going to happen. I think J Martz is about to be the next driver to get across the line in the Ferrari. Let's see how fast he's going to go. A 114.9. Remember, every car here is running on these soft tires here at the moment. And we got X-ray delta going up to 114.823, about 400 of a second faster than Eruptor. Takes away second place on the grid with that one there at the moment. Eruptor's down to third. J-Mart's down to fourth. Lucky takes away fifth right now, 115.1. Justy's now down to sixth with his 115.2. Ice One takes away 116.9. Goes down to seventh on the grid with that. And a bit more. Ace takes a 115.9, puts himself up into 7. We got both McLarens, I think, left to get some lap times in. We got Pollock here on an outlap still at the moment. So first round of lap times done so far. Just waiting on Pollock here to get his lap in. So most of likely what is going to happen here is cars are going to get back in to the pit lane at the moment, get possibly a new set of tires on, or maybe just a bit more fuel in, and then they're going to get out for a second run on the track and see if they can improve that lap time. Possibly get it for a third run as well. We'll see what's going to happen. Lucky out of the session, and I think that just happened down there in Sector 2, at the end of Sector 2 actually. And we possibly can have a look at that maybe. Let's have a look. Yep, there it is down at the back there. I'll switch back over to Pollock here. We're going to keep on this McLaren here for the moment. So pretty good lap time so far. Jonathan currently holds on to provisional pole for the start of this race here at the moment with a 114.4. Got extra delta just about 4/10 of his time there in second. Eruptor another 400th of a second off of Delta's time. So this is going to be pretty interesting between our top three that we got here at the moment. Mart's down to 4th, Lucky down to 5th, Chelsea 6th there, Ace in 7, then Ice 1 8, Cammy currently 9th, and Paul currently 10. Of course, these two have no time in the grid there at the moment. So both McLaren's currently running, one on the outlap, one on the hot lap. Let's see where they go at the end of this. I think they got a full free track to use. We might have the rest of the drivers get back out in just a bit. It's down to about 6.5 minutes here for Q3 now. It's really a short session, so we'd expect at least 2 full runs from these cars in terms of lap times to get the best possible time in. Let's see how that's going to work out. And we got a purple Sector 1 coming off of the McLaren of Pollock here at the moment, so he's looking pretty good at this in terms of getting a pretty good lap. Let's see how that Sector 2 time is going to be though. Gets through those chicane pretty well. Definitely looking forward to see what this race start is going to be like. The session has been going extremely well so far, I gotta say, for the first race of the season here. Hopefully the Thursday opening race goes well as well. We'll see how those drivers are going to perform. Alright, coming to the end of this current lap here. In the meanwhile, his teammate Cammy is about to get started on a hot lap. Gets across the line and now gets started on that. And let's see, Pollock is he's getting back into the pits, not finishing this lap unfortunately, so not the best of lap time. He's getting there, doesn't want to waste a lot of time going around the track, so he's going to get back in the pits, possibly change off tires, get a fresh set on and get out again, and then get a move on with this. So let's have a look. The rest of our drivers are going to be getting out back on track right about now. We already see Ace getting out for another out lap there. He's done a 115.9, needs to try and improve that. He is a bit on the front of the grid to start off this race, but once a better lap time in, of course everyone's going to be fighting for positions in that opening lap, so it needs to be as much in front as possible in terms of trying to be able to gain a few positions if needed as they get through lap 1 itself. And especially if there's going to be a safety car, we'll see what's going to happen. They're going to have to avoid damage as much as possible here. Once again, guys, welcome to everyone joining us on here in the session. Hopefully everyone can hear me clearly. Everything's going well on the stream so far. If you're now joining us, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel here on YouTube. Do follow us on Twitch, and we're live on Facebook as well. Follow us there as well. Be fun to have everyone follow all the socials, so wherever we're live on, you can watch. And remember, some of these streams, not these sports streams, some streams that we're going to do are just going to be live on YouTube, which is one of our main platforms that we stream on, but most of our streams will be multi-streamed on all three at the same time. So just keep that in mind. Remember, there's a Discord link in the description to join, to just have an idea of what's happening in upcoming weeks. Alright, so we got majority of our drivers out on track here at the moment, on board right now with X-Ray Delta. Let's see how that current lap is going. Interesting sound from the engine of that Haas there. Alright, so about to get started on the hot lap here right about now. Let's see how that lap is gonna go with him. Hopefully he's able to improve that 114.8 and possibly take away provisional pole away from Jonathan. Let's see how that's going to work out. But Jonathan is already getting out on track for another out lap right about now. Ace retired from the session. He's out with a 115.9. I think he's out there at the end of Sector 2. Bit of a dangerous sector turn there apparently, because that's the second driver I've seen gone out on that. Lucky went out there as well. So we're going to keep an eye on that, that point there. That's a purple Sector 1 so far from X-Ray Delta here. So we're trying to keep an eye and see how the lap time is gonna be. Let's see how Sector 2 time is about to go here. Once again, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, do feel free and help yourself to sharing out our stream links to as many locations on social media as you can. Just get us as much viewers as we can here. Alright, so I don't think he had a purple Sector 2. I really didn't pay attention to that. That's a Mercedes doing some donuts, I think, on track. And he gets across the line as he doesn't get a faster time, unfortunately, but might try for another lap here. I think he's going for another one. Let's see how that's going to go. J Mart's retiring off the session. A few drivers currently out already. I think he's definitely going for another lap as Jonathan is on his hot lap right now. Let's have a look with him, where he is on track. So he is currently running a bit behind X-Ray Delta at the moment. So let's see how that switch is going to happen, if that switch is going to happen. Currently, as it is, X-Ray Delta is 114.7. I think it was a 114.8 early on. So he's improved by a tenth at least. He needs to improve by another 3 to 4 tenths in order to beat that lap time and take away provisional pole. Of course, he has to account if Jonathan is going to make a faster time here. So this is going to be a bit close between our top two for the start of the race or provisional pole. Let's see how that's going to work out. Looks like Jonathan might have given up this lap here because he's not trying to go faster right about now. So it does look like he's given that up. Let's have a look if Delta is going back in. Looks like he's going back in as well. So they might be starting in the positions that they are there right about now. Unless Jonathan decides to go for another lap. But he has enough time to get across the line again. And possibly get another lap started here. I think, let's see if he's going. Yep, he definitely is going to go for it just to make sure he keeps that provisional pole for the start of the Hungarian GP. He's going to go for another lap. And we're going to go back down at the bottom here. Let's have a look. See if anyone else is trying to run a faster time in. Ice One looks like he might be trying to get a better time in. Cammy there in the McLaren on another out lap. Hopefully he's able to make it. And looks like he might just make it for another lap. Hello Gia, thank you for joining on the stream. Okay, so I think that's it for qualifying 3 with the timing there. So just whoever is running currently a lap here. I think that just Ice One, Cammy, and Jonathan running on track. After that, it's just gonna be I think we're just gonna get straight to the results and then straight into the race session. Let's see how that's working out. And P2 for X-Ray Delta, not a bad time. And looks like Jonathan made a faster time at 113.9. Pretty impressive. So holds on to his provisional pole time there. And that's an invalidated time there for Cammy there. So just going to finish off that lap. And yep, that's going to be it for qualifying 3. Has been an interesting qualifying session so far from the guys here for the NOMEX Championship. So not too bad with it for Tier 1. Hopefully Tier 2 can follow off on Thursday. We'll see how they're going to do. So we're waiting just to have a look at what the top 10 for the starting grid is going to be like. We will go through that again. Hopefully I think we should have the formation lap on. I'm not sure. Usually we go through back the entire grid there if we do have it on. We'll see about that. Alright, so there we go. Fastest time there for Q3 goes to Jonathan there with a 113.9. Pretty impressive time. So he was starting on the front row P1. Just alongside me is going to be Delta there starting in second. Eruptor starting third. J Mart's going to start fourth. Gami starting fifth. Lucky starts sixth. Justy 7. Ice 1 8. Ace in ninth. And Pollock there in 10th. Not a bad group. Not a bad set of lap times. The slowest time was a 115.9, which is pretty good, I would say. So let's head straight over to the race session. And let's see if we're going to have a safety car on the opening lap. Okay, so we do have the formation lap on. It's going to be a 35 lap race here around the Hungarian for the Hungarian GP, and should be quite an interesting one. Lap times are really not that long, as we saw in qualifying. Lap times range about a minute 15, minute 17, maybe a minute 18, depending on race pace time as we're going to have it. So in the meanwhile, we're going to have a look at the starting grid very quickly before actually getting started with this race. Let's get that on for just a bit there. We already have the track map on. So from qualifying 3, as we just saw there, we have Jonathan starting on P1 here for the grid. We got alongside him is going to be X-Ray Delta there in second, Eruptor starting third, J Mart's in fourth, Cammy there fifth, Lucky in sixth, Justy there seventh, Ice 1 in eighth. We got Ace starting ninth, Pollock in 10, Doom Vista 11, JD 12, Killer 94J in 13, Scooby there in 14. We got Ballistic there 15. We got Markham there 16, Kieran Barr down to 17, Luna in 18, Mad Nathan there 19, and Night Shadow unfortunately down in 20th on the grid. We'll have to try and make up quite a few positions on the race start. We can see what the tires are going to be used for the start here. Of course, the top 10 have to start in the tires they qualified down in qualifying 2 or doing their fastest laps with. Looks like it's going to be a dry session, and it might be dry all the way on through. We'll see how that's going to go as we're getting to the end of Sector 3 here pretty shortly, and there's our predicted pit stop strategy. Mostly we're probably going to have a 1-stop or a 2-stop, possibly a 3-stop from some of these drivers, just depending on safety cars. Might even be a 4-stop for some of the drivers, depending on what is going to happen here. Of course, broken front wings mean they do have to go into the pits, and they have to just decide what they're going to do in that case there. So let's see what's going to happen on the opening lap, as we have cars are about to start being reformed back on the grid here for the start of this race. 35 laps. Going to be interesting to look forward to the next 40 to 45 minutes of racing, maybe 50 minutes if we have about 5 safety cars or not. We'll see what's going to happen, but they seem to be doing pretty well. A few mishaps here and there in qualifying, but other than that, it should be all good to go. So final car here is Night Shadow getting sorted in his grid slot here right about now. Let's switch this on over to position changes. You guys are going to have a look at that. In the meanwhile, we get started. We're going to keep an eye on Jonathan and X-Ray Delta going down into turn 1, and then switch it on over to the overhead cam and have a look at the midfield going to the back, see what incidents are going to happen. Hopefully we catch something happening, and let's see how well everything is about to go. I think we're about to get started here. Alright, that's 5 laps on. Let's see how well and who gets a better start on this. And looks like X-Ray Delta got a bit of a better start. Leaderboard has been mixed up just a bit. We're going to try and keep an eye on the entire grid as they get on through. Side by side for P1, P2 getting through there. I think you're up to trying to come around the outside, but not much luck on that. The Haas keeps it in second so far going on through, and not too bad. Let's have a look at the back of the grid, see what's happening. I don't think we have much incident so far. Looks like both Mercedes running side by side, and Hopefully no contact so far as we get on through. I think we have yellow flags. I don't think we have a safety car as yet, so it's been fairly clean going through that. We do expect a yellow flag going through the sector on the opening lap. Everyone seems to be just taking on a position and going on through quite easily so far. As you can see, quite a few position changes though, as with that race start. The top three are right where they started. They're a few tenths off of the time from each other there, and they're trying to keep it into that position as much as possible. Lucky and Cammy, they're 4th and 5th, a pretty close gap with those two just behind. And let's see how well that's going to work out for them. Out in front of Eruptor, though, Delta there, about 3 tenths behind Jonathan at the moment, so not that very big gap for work with, but he's going to have to be a bit careful. I think we got someone spun around down at the back there, as we can see, trying to get back going. And let's see who's falling down the order. Looks like it might have been Pollock here, I'm not sure, because he's already down to 18th on the grid. Lost about 8 positions, most likely was him. We do have a safety car happening right about now. Kieran Barr is out of the race down there at the end of sector 2, right where we had 2 cars out in qualifying. So possibly something happening down there with that specific turn, I'm not sure. Do have the Mercedes safety car out. We should be able to see the Aston Martin safety car this season as well with the drivers on. So let's switch this back over. You have a few pit stops happening there as well. We're going to switch on to tires for now and see how that is going. We have the telemetry down at the bottom of the screen. You guys can have a look at that. So we get on through. Unfortunate for Kieran Barr out of the race on the opening lap. A safety car to go with that. I'm not sure if he had contact with another car or not. We'll find out about that maybe a bit later on. Out in front though, pretty close off with quite a few cars as we have it, but under the safety car right now, everyone's going to get a bit bunched up, and we have a few drivers already did some pit stops. They're possibly repairing some damage on their cars, getting on through, and we're already following behind the safety car for the next 2 laps at least. And hopefully by the end of lap 3, maybe lap 4, possibly hopefully the end of lap 3, we should be able to go back racing into lap 4. And let's see how the rest of the race is going to go. Of course, remember 25 laps are already on lap 2 going on through. And this is going to just keep everyone a bit bunched up until we're ready to get back going again. So we're going to have to keep an eye on how the restart goes after the safety car. Now, I did call it that we might have a safety car on the opening lap. I did expect it would happen before the end of sector 1, though. I thought we're going to have some incidents happening there. Didn't seem like that's what's actually happened in a session, but we think we did have a few contact happening between some cars in the midfield going down to the back of the grid, which is why we had a few pit stops there as well. So some cars did take some damage. The front of the grid seemed to have gotten away pretty well, as no one in the front took any stops there. I think Pollock had a bit of a mishap though, getting through somewhere in sector 2 where he had a bit of a spin, I think, as he fell on quite a few positions down the order. A few more pit stops happening. We got Ace in the pits, we got Markham in the pit there as well, possibly getting a change of front wings, I'm not sure. Maybe just a new set of tires, and we'll find out what's happening with that as we continue on with the race itself. Alright, so things have quieted down just a bit here, just waiting on this safety car to get back in. And these cars are going to try as much as possible to keep their tires warm before that restart, because they don't want to be running too slow behind that safety car for very long. So hopefully at the end of this current lap we can get back racing. I think everything should be cleared, or the debris should be cleared off track, and we should be able to get back racing again. Just so you guys know, whenever there is a safety car on track, it just basically means everyone has to slow the speed down by about 40% and stay behind the safety car and stay behind whatever car you're running. There's absolutely no overtaking during a safety car session. It lasts at least about 2 to 3 laps, just depending on how much debris is on track. Once everything is clear, and there we go. So safety car is going to be in on this lap, and we can get back racing into lap 4. Let's see how that restart is going to go between Jonathan and X-Ray Delta there. I think Jonathan definitely is going to try and get as fast of a run as he can away from X-Ray Delta, getting on that pit straight. Let's see when he decides to go. As we can see, right about now. They're trying to keep as close as possible. I think Delta is trying to just get alongside him, and I think he's already gone for it here, getting a wrong. But of course, there's going to be no overtaking until they get across that white line, which is a start-finish line there on the straight. And there they go, they're across it. They can go for it there right about now, as I think someone is into the pit wall down at the back of the grid, trying to have a look at what's happening down at the back here. Why is it switching that way? I'm not sure. I think someone had a bit of an incident down at the back. I'm not sure as yet. We'll have a look at what exactly happened, hopefully. But we can see position changes happening down in the midfield of the grid going on through. There's an AlphaTauri that's been ghosted for some reason. I think that's Matt Nathan there. Why is he ghosted? I'm not sure if he's disconnected or not. Looks like he is disconnected from his car because there's an X on that. We got yellow flags down in sector 2. There is a McLaren off track somewhere. I think we just went past that there. That's Cammy there and falling down the order. McLaren haven't had the best luck at the start of this race coming on through. And let's see where they finish, or they can still come back from it. It's only the early start of the race so far. Now going back up out in front here, following with Jonathan and X-Ray Delta, see what's going on with the two of them. It's about a 6-10 gap between P1, P2, Eruptor down behind in third, another 6-10 gap behind. So he's not too far off, and he's keeping up with these guys out front as much as he can. But I gotta say, X-Ray Delta is in a bit of a tough spot here. He has Williams in front, Anna Williams behind. So those teammates are gonna work together and possibly try to get him down to third on the grid and possibly get that next William there up another position, because Eruptor just had the fastest lap going through that lap there. We're now into lap 5 here. We got a situation going on with Pollock there out of the race there in sector 2. And on the final turn in sector 2, that's like the 4th driver that's gone out on that part of the track. So definitely a dangerous turn to get on through it. We're going to see what's happening. Extra Delta just gets the fastest sector 1 time. So trying to improve his time as much as possible. Of course, Eruptor behind of him running on the soft tires is going to be running a shorter stint before doing a pit stop. X-Ray, Delta, and Jonathan will be able to run a longer stint before they actually do a pit stop here. So they might not be too worried about Eruptor, but they can't. He's going to just try possibly to keep him down in third and hold on to second place for as long as he can here, until that Williams driver decides to do a stop. So far, into lap 5, 2 drivers out, 18 remain. Let's see what's going to happen by the time we get around to the halfway point. It looks like the 3rd driver is out. Killer 94J is out of the race. Not sure what's happened to him. I'm trying to have a look, and that's the 2nd safety car so far, and he's out down at the side of the track. And that's the exact turn that we've been losing drivers there so far in this race. And not one that you would kind of expect incidents to happen on for some reason. So I'm not sure what's been happening there at that final turn in sector 2. But for some reason, we have been losing drivers constantly throughout the session here. That's 3 drivers out of the session so far. We're down to 17 remaining now. And under our 2nd safety car, this is going to trigger some more pit stops here. Of course, our guys out front are still going to continue running behind the safety car. They're not going to be changing up the strategy, at least for now. I think they're just going to run with what they got going on. Now remember, safety cars do tend to change their aspect of the race quite a bit, because these guys have to plan accordingly for the safety cars that are going to happen, and see what sort of strategy they're going to run. If they're going to change their pit stop strategy, they got to be very careful about what they do, just to make sure they don't lose positions doing so. So a few cars up front are keeping whatever positions they got, and they're just going to stay out on track at the moment. I think we should be able to go back racing by the end of lap 7. That debris should be cleared off track, as the car was on the side of the track there next to the barrier. So I don't think should be much debris on track for the marshals to get rid of. So currently, as we have it here, Jonathan runs in P1. We got Delta running 2nd. Eruptor still running 3rd. Chelsea, they're running 4th now. We got Ballistic is running 5th. Lucky running 6th. Got Mad Nathan up to 7th on the grid. JD running 8th. Doom Vista running 9th. Night Shadow is all the way up to 10th. And he started way down at the bottom there. We got Luna running 11th. Markham running 12th. Now Ace down to 13th. Started in the top 10. J Marns down to 14th at the moment. Ice One running 15th. Cammy running 16th. Scooby there 17th. Unfortunate for the 3 drivers that are out of the session, but that's going to continue on for now. A bit of a mix of strategies we have going on. We got Eruptor into the pit now, so that's going to put Jonathan and Jonathan Delta continuing P1, P2. Justin now moves up to P3 because of that pit stop they are done. and that moves up a few drivers up a position or two there. Well, there's at least one position for now. So let's see what's going to happen in that case. Now remember, Eruptor was running on a soft set of tires there, so he's done a stop now. Going on to the mediums, there might just be one more pit stop that needs to happen for him in this race. We'll see what's going to happen. I'm not sure if Jonathan and Delta are running a one-stop strategy or a two-stop strategy in this case, because they've started the race on the mediums. They've done about 6 laps so far. They can go quite a bit more into the race, but let's see what the strategy is going to be, if they're going to be switching it over to the hards to go to the end and just do one stop, or possibly switch and do a two-stop strategy. We'll see what that case is going to be, but I think it's going to be a bit dependent on Jonathan, depending on what Delta is going to be doing here. He's going to be watching in front to see what that car is going to be doing in terms of making his decision to keep his current strategy or possibly change it. We'll see what happens in that case there. So at the moment, still running under the safety car. By the time we get around to sector 3 here, which we'll be getting around in a few turns time, we should be knowing if we're going to be getting back restarted with the race into lap 8. Hopefully we will. Alright, so there we have a safety car is going to be in on this lap, so we're about to go back racing there, and hopefully everything goes well after this restart. Hopefully no more safety cars, because we already had 2 since the start of the race there. Alright, so about to get back restarted here right about now. We got Delta keeping an extra close gap with Jonathan as they go down the pit straight, and he's using the slipstream as much as he can. Pulling on the inside, he's going to try and outbrake him into turn 1. Let's see if that works. Williams pulls across a bit and kind of blocks him off, so actually holds up the position for now. A bit of changes happening down in the midfield. Jonathan still holds on to that lead. Delta still in second. Justy and Lucky still pretty close by a 2:10 gap between them as they fight on for position as well. And I think the rest of the grid going just about as they were. A few minor changes down where Martz and Markham is there in 11th and 12th. Aston Martin of Lucky is running pretty well and pretty strong up here in P4 at the moment, with a 2:10 gap right now to their car out in front. So let's see if he's able to actually possibly get an overtake done. Hopefully going into the next lap, we'll see if that's going to work. Out in front though, Delta and Jonathan still fighting it very strongly for that position. And I think we had just a bit of an incident happen there, because it looks like Delta made a bit of a mistake. He's fallen down the order now down to third. Justy has gotten by him, and we got Lucky trying to get by as well. 2 more drivers do get by. He might have damage on the car, I'm not sure, or just trying to get more traction back on those tires there. And it does look like 2 drivers are disconnected from their cars. JD and Madnated might be disconnected from those cars. I'm not sure, but we got Delta going into the pit lane here right now. He might just be doing his first stop here, possibly going on to a new set of mediums or a set of soft tires. Let's have a look and see what this pit stop strategy change is going to be. So I think he's decided to make this stop just because of that bit of mistake he had, or a bit of incident he just had happen there. And he's going on to a set of hard tires. He might be pushing to go to the end of the race on that set of tires there. Having a wing change as well, so he took some damage. Something did happen. I'm not sure if he had contact with the Williams in front of him. That's where Jonathan there. Possibly that's what happened, but he did do a wing change and got onto a set of hard tires. So possibly going to be pushing to go all the way to the end of the race on that set. We'll see what's going to happen. Already 9 laps into the race. We're going to get back out front. A bit of a gap starting to form here right now between our top few drivers as we have it. Let's see where we have a gap. So with JD still disconnected, but very close with Madrid. I'm not sure what's happening with those 2 as well. We're going to go in the midfield right now. Luna here in the Alpine running ahead of Ace at the moment. Ahead by about 8/10 right now. So let's just switch it on over and have a look. Behind Ace though, Markham coming another 3/10 behind. So looking to get by the Mercedes if he can find a gap to work with. Got Eruptor trying to work his way back up the grid. I remember he took an early pit stop, and he was on the sauce, went on to the medium tires. He's now running in P12, trying to get back out in front if he can. Justy and Lucky, I think, just did a switch out front. Lucky's now up to second, Justy down to third. Still about a 2:10 gap between them. Jonathan getting away pretty well though, 2.6 seconds ahead in P1 and leading the race still. Doom Vista here. Let's see what's happening with him. I think, is he disconnected? I'm not even sure if he's disconnected or not, but we do have two drivers in the mix there that are still disconnected at the moment. We're gonna just leave that be for the moment and just get back down here and see what's happening between Ace and Markham. Looks like a gap that is starting to increase just a bit. So we're gonna go back out front, trying to see what's happening in this case. Looks like someone's having a bit of incident. Something might have happened with Luna's car, and that Alpine had a bit of a spin and has some damage on the front wing. The right end plate is missing, so he's gonna have some downforce issues and might have to do a pit stop here right about now and get a wing change. And he is a bit away, at least still another halfway around the track before getting back to the entry of the pit lane to get that wing change. And we'll possibly get out a new set of tires and then continue on with the race. Now back here with Markham and Ace here fighting for P8 in the race at the moment. Of course, Eruptor another 2 tenths behind. He's trying to get around the Alfa Romeo and does actually do it on the inside, gets around into P9 and is now going to chase after Ace for that position. Let's see if Ace is actually able to hold them off. Getting onto the pit straight is going to be a bit difficult to actually do that here, as he has the slipstream going and does have a bit ERC, but hasn't made use of that as yet. I think he's going to be depending on the DRS. Hopefully does have that working for him, which I think he just thinking about that. I'm not even sure if he did get it there. Now Delta getting the fastest time, 118.4, running on a new set of tires there, so that's working pretty well for him. Looks like Ace is about to lose that position as Eruptor goes up into P8 on fresher tires, so working pretty well. Williams back up in 8th, Ace down to 9th now, was not able to keep the position. And he's now down to 11th, actually. Had a bit of an issue there because he's missing the right end plate on that Mercedes. I'm not sure what happened, but he had contact with someone apparently to lose that portion of it. So he possibly is going to be taking a stop here. I'm not sure. Does have a penalty as well. We'll see how that's going to work out. We're trying to get back out front with Night Shadow here at the moment in the Red Bull, chasing after Doom Vista, who is disconnected still and running in third, surprisingly enough. Let's see how long he actually does take to get ahead of that. Trying to follow on where we have most of our close gaps going on in the race and not with our disconnected driver. Going back down in the bottom of the grid here, we got J Mars running 12, Ison running 13, Delta running 14. He's trying to catch up to these two cars out in front. Markham here still about 2 tenths behind Ace at the moment, so they're now fighting for 10th. I think that's J Mars trying to go around someone. Let's have a look where he is right now. So we're waiting for the Delta times to load back again. We're on lap 12 and running at the moment. I think our leaderboard is getting a bit crazy. So that issue is still happening. We still got a leaderboard issue happening here on F1 2021. And that's a bit disappointing to actually see. So we're just going to ignore that for the time being and just have a look and see what's happening on track. So Ice One is catching up to J Martz here. Let's see how closer he can get. Ace is currently into the pits, possibly getting that damaged front wing taken care of. And goes a bit off track, I think there, trying to keep it as steady as he can. Alright, so getting, hopefully, I'm not sure if this is even our leaderboard. Is oh, we got Luna out of the race. Unfortunately, I just actually noticed that. I'm not sure where he went up. It looks like it's in sector 1 actually there. And we got a third safety car here. Let's see who's currently leading the race here at the moment. Looks like it might just be Lucky leading the race. If that leaderboard information is right at the moment, I'm not even sure at this point. Okay, sorry about the silence. So back on again. So currently we're on our, I think we probably lost count. I think we're on our third safety car right about now. So we're down to 16 drivers remaining in the race. 4 drivers lost so far. So let's see how the remainder of the race to go. We're on lap 14 at the moment. I think we should be able to get back racing possibly by the next lap, maybe, or the other one. I'm not sure as yet. We'll see what's going to happen in that case. Race control should let us know as soon as we're ready to get going again. I don't think it's going to be at this lap because we're still following very closely behind that safety car there. So once again, welcome to everyone joining on the stream. Don't forget, guys, to make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Twitch and Facebook as well. And remember, there's a link in the description to join on to our channel Discord, and just to keep updated with whatever is going on or whatever streams we do have upcoming in the following week. And of course, do check out on YouTube. There is now a feature that allows you to clip part of the stream while it's actually live. It's recently been added about probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm not even sure when it was added, but I did receive an email about it. I saw it was, I think it's still in beta mode at the moment. They're still testing that feature out, and they've allowed it on the channel on YouTube, so do check it out. It's kind of similar to on Twitch when you guys make clips of videos that happen. I'm not sure if you're able to do it live on Twitch. I've never actually tried it, but on YouTube you're actually going to be able to do it live. Just clip part of the video. I think someone did it for the stream that we did yesterday. In one of the incidents that did happen, you can just do a quick clip. I'm not sure how many seconds it does it for, but I think it's like probably about 20 or 30 seconds maybe. I haven't tried it out myself as yet, but I do know that it actually works. So do make use of it if you need to, in terms of any incidents that happen, and yeah, can be useful for us as well. Alright, so let's see what we're up with here at the moment. So at the moment, we're possibly going to come to the end of the safety car at the end of this lap, go back into racing at lap 16. And the grid order at the moment, we got Lucky leading the race right now. Doom Vista there in second on the grid. Nightshade running third, JD running fourth, Scooby running fifth, Justy in sixth, J Mart in seven, Ice One running eighth, Delta running 9, Bad Nathan in 10th. I'm not sure if he's still disconnected, but let's stick there in 11. Jonathan down to 12 after his stop, going on to the hard tire as well to push to the end of the race. I think Markham in 13, Ace in 14 with a penalty, along with Scooby there penalty as well. Eruptor in 15 on fresh hearts. Cammy there 16 on the grid at the moment. We got Luna Killer 94, J Pollock and Kieran Barr out of the race. Unfortunate for that. Let's see how this restart is about to go. So there you go. Safety car is going to go in at the end of this lap. I think it's already getting in there right about now. We're heading into the pit lane. And we're going to wait and see how soon Lucky gets this restart going. We can see Doom Vista keeping right up to the rear of his car. And they cannot overtake until they get across that line. And there they go. So they're going to go for it there right now. Has a bit of a slipstream going down into turn 1. He might try to push it on the inside. But being a bit locked off, he's going to be forced around the longer way around. As the Red Bull of Nitro comes around. Tries to keep up with these guys out front. And hopefully is able to gain a position if he can, but I think he's just trying to keep away from JD behind of him, who's about 3 to 4 tenths behind. So top 4-5 cars get away pretty well. Let's see what's happening in the midfield here right about now. We got X-Ray Delta and Scooby possibly fighting for a position here. Only about a 310 gap between them. I think Scooby's disconnected from his car at the moment, and Matt Nathan's still disconnected there as well. So we got a few disconnected drivers in the race here at the moment. We'll figure out how to deal with that later on in the session. Jonathan falling down the order. Not sure what happened to his car, but he's still going here, running in 10th. I think Ice One is falling down the order. He's lost a position to Ace, who's now up in the 11th. Going a bit wide on track, kind of all over the place at the moment, and he's trying to squeeze this on the inside. We got another safety car right after one that just happened, so that's the 4th one, and Lucky there trying to get back going. He was leading the race. I'm not sure what happened out front with him. So a bit of an incident with that. And who is out of this race? It looks like a McLaren is out, and that's Cammy there in at the just by the beginning of sector 2. So that driver is out there on that. We got Doomed Vista now leading the race. He is in P1. Nightshadow runs up to P2 at the moment. J Mart now up to 3rd. And Justy running 4th. Delta back up to 5th so far. Man, they disconnected, so that's just it run off now. Jonathan there running 7th at the moment. So 4th safety car, we're back onto the safety car again for another 2 laps before we do get back racing. So we're going to let the guys run on the safety car for just a bit, and I'll be back in about a minute and a half or so. Okay, so we're going back racing at the end of this lap here. So I've got a disconnection. So in lap 18 at the moment, we're heading into lap 19 to get this restart going. And let's see how it's going to go out front. A bit of a mix-up with our grid order as it is right now. We got 14 drivers remaining out of 20 from the start of this race. Has been kind of consistent with this issue of safety cars since we've started from yesterday coming to today with leaks. We'll see whether that's going to continue possibly throughout the week. Maybe for the first 2 weeks at least it's going to be happening this, so we'll see what's going to happen. So Doomvist and Night Shadow about 9 tenths between them as they get through turn 1. Looks like Delta is trying to get up a position between him and Justy here. Let's see who gets out in that position. So he's holding on to P4 and still side by side with the Mercedes, pushing him a bit to the side of the track but gives him enough room, and he gets on through, still holds on to the position on the inside, and looks like let's have a look, see what's happening with these two. So Mercedes goes off track. I bet Jonathan gets up into 5th now and is going to fight it with Martz, who was disconnected but just got back on again there, and possibly fight for that position if he can. So he's trying to get ahead of the Ferrari into P4. Delta holding on to P3 at the moment still. Jonathan is up to P4, already got the overtake done and quite cleanly done. I don't think no contact was between that there. And looks like Justy is now down to 6th. And I'm not sure what happened because I think Ace is falling down the order a bit, so something's definitely happened down at the back of the grid there. Hopefully not another safety car. And look, we can see that car getting a bit twitch. We do have another safety car. Doom Vista is out. Something happened down at the back of the grid. I had a feeling something might have happened with the way cars were going on through. So safety car number 5. Sorry guys, not surprised about it. Let's see what's happening out front. So Night Shadow continues to lead now, with Delta now running in 2nd. Jonathan back up to 3rd. We got J-Marks now running 4th. 18 laps done on his set of tires. Night Shadow 17 laps on the mediums that he has on. So he still has to do another stop before getting to the end of the race. Delta running 10 laps on those hards that he has on. Jonathan running 6 laps on his. We got Justy there in 5th at the moment on hards. Fresh at the moment. Matt Nathan still running on fresh hards. Ice 1 13 laps on his mediums. Will have to do a stop. We got Europe running 4 laps on his tires. We got Lucky running with 2 laps on his mediums. Pretty new still at the moment, so I don't think he has to do a stop right now. Might be able to be possibly push it all to the end of the race. Yeah, he definitely should be able to. Got about 15 or so laps remaining in this race before we get to the end out of 35. So we're past the halfway point on safety car number 5. Do expect that this might happen. Hopefully we can have at least 10 drivers finish this race. We'll see what's going to happen at the end of this, because now 13 drivers now remain, and we're currently on lap 20 getting on through this. So let's have a look at penalties as it is here right now. So penalties at the moment, we got Ace with the most, winning everyone with that. He has 11 seconds of penalties, but still not as high as we've seen in previous races back on 2020 with other drivers. Ice 1 8 seconds of penalties. We got Delta 5 seconds of penalties, and that's going to be a 5-second stop go penalty when he does another pit stop, or will be added to his race time down at the end. We'll see what's going to happen in that case. Tires, we can see what they're on. Let's get to the position changes here right about now. Night Shadow started 20th on the grid, is now leading the Hungarian GP, and that's 19 positions up. And even if he takes a stop, he's still going to be running somewhere at the front and possibly has a good chance of actually finishing, possibly getting back on the podium, or possibly at least having a top 5 finish in this race, and might be getting driver of the day. Man Nathan, I think, is still disconnected, even though he gained 13 position. Let's have a look at that. Is his car disconnected? Yep, he is still disconnected from the session there. As you can see an X on his car. Not sure why he got this. Probably having some internet issues in that case there. We'll see what that is going to be about as we get on through. And who else has gained a lot of positions? So Jonathan has lost 2 positions since the start. He started P1, was leading the race until he had a bit of an issue, took a stop, and he's now down to P3, trying to fight his way back up right now. Gonna have a bit of a battle with Delta, trying to fight for P1, of course, on this restart going on through, because we know Night Shadow has to take a stop very soon and get onto the next set of tires. Let's see when he's going to decide to do that. J Marks, they're going to try to keep up with those 2 out front of him. Justy there might try to keep up with them as well. He's gained 2 positions from the start of this race, and Ice 1 has gained 1. Looks like Eruptor lost 5 positions. I think he started down somewhere in P3 on the grid. Lucky there lost 3, and Ace has lost 4 positions. He's currently down to 13th on the grid at the moment. So let's head back over to tires there and see what happened to Markham. A 5-second penalties for severe collision with Ace down at the back of the grid here. Did anyone take any damage? I'm not sure. doesn't seem to be. Hopefully everything is okay on that end of it. So let's get back on the overhead cam here. And we're just waiting for the restart to happen. Hopefully, I think it's going to happen at the end of this lap. We should get back racing. And let's see how this restart goes. We had quite a few restarts on this session so far. Once again, welcome to all of you joining on the session. Hopefully everyone is enjoying. I assume we have more viewers on because of the drivers who are now out of the session, probably watching on with the stream. Hopefully they are. Anyway, let's see how their companions are going to be finishing off the race. If they're going to be finishing off the race, let's see what happens in that case. Because never know how it's going to go. Is it starting to rain here right about now? And yes, it is. I did notice a few drizzles, so the graphic on that, we haven't had a wet race done on F1 2021 as yet. We're now going to see what that is going to be like as Delta takes, trying to take over the lead before the restart happens. What's happening here? Because I think someone is into the pit, so he's taking over the lead away. We're trying to take it away from Night Shadow right now as they go side by side into turn 1. Jonathan in the mix of that as well, so 3 cars fighting on through for that. Looks like Jonathan gets away with the lead. Night Shadow going down to third, Delta into second as they come around turn 1. And that Haas, they're fighting it for the lead at the moment with the Williams of Jonathan. And looks like Jonathan still holds on to it. The Haas takes it on the inside, takes away back the lead. A bit of a switch happening out front with our top 2. Night Shadow down to third with his tires being a bit old, not able to fight with these 2 cars here at the moment. So it looks like X-Ray Delta holds on to the lead, at least for now. A 4-10 gap between him and Jonathan. Now it's going to be a bit of a change up here. If the rain is starting to come down, which is coming down quite a bit already. We've seen the track already starting to get a bit wet and these cars starting to slide around. We got majority of the grid already changed off to the intermediate tires as they started rain coming down before they got to the pit entry. But of course the few cars, top 6 cars out front, were not able to get into the pit lane to get those tires changed. They had to continue off and they're going to have to make it all the way around now and then get in and get onto the intermediate tires because the track is starting to get wet already. Rain is coming down pretty hard. I'm not sure why it's coming down so quickly. But with that happening, they're going to have to just try to keep those cars from being damaged and make it back to the pit lane, get changed onto the intermediate tires, which are the green striped tires, so that they can drive in the wet conditions on track. It's not wet enough for full wet, so just going on to the intermediates. As you can see, the cars getting into the pit lane right about now. Hopefully the pit crew can work quick enough to get these cars onto a new set of tires. Let's see if they're going to be able to hold on to their positions as they get back out the pit lane. Because remember, the cars behind of them at the back of the grid already took a stop, went on to the intermediates, and quite an interesting change happening at the end of the race. We've seen this happen many times in esports races where the rain comes down in the final 25% portion of the race and causes a very big change up on the grid order, especially between the front and the back. Now J Martz now leads the Hungarian Grand Prix with Justin now in second, Matt Nathan running third, we got Eruptor back up to fourth now, Ice One in fifth, Lucky running sixth, Jonathan, who was leading along with Night Shadow and X-Ray Delta, now down to the midfield, down to the back of the grid. Jonathan in 7, Night Shadow 8, JD now running 10th. We got a driver out of the race already here at the side of the track there, and that is in sector 1. That might be bringing out either a virtual safety car or a full safety car. We'll see what's going to happen, or possibly just continue on with the race. Currently it's a yellow flag there in sector 1 for that driver being out. So Lucky was not very lucky in this case. He did make it quite a good distance into the race though before actually getting a DNF there. So J Martz continues to lead in the Ferrari out front. A bit of luck with the rain coming down for him, because he was able to take over the lead by doing an early stop before the restart there, getting onto the intermediates along with the rest of the drivers behind of him. So we got J Martz in the Ferrari leading the race now on lap 23. We got about 12 and a half laps remaining to go. Justy there running in second, Eruptor running third. That's our top 3 so far. Now let's see if I think these set of tires should be able to make it all the way to the end of the race. Now this is kind of dependent on how much this rain is going to come down. We still got Markham on soft tires down in the back. I think he might have been a mistake with that change. Now, grip level is going to be still very difficult even on the intermediate tires because there's not a lot of water on track for these tires to displace at the moment here. We can see the track is wet, but not like puddles of water for actually these tires to displace. So there's going to be still a bit of a grip issue with cars. They're going to have to be very careful on the corners, especially on those curves. The straights, I think they should be okay on those to go on. Then still got to be careful on getting on the throttle with it and getting back on the power. So let's see how that works out with the braking zones and whatnot. So far going on through. J Mars leads just here about 5/10 behind him, trying to catch up as much as he can. Mandate in here still disconnected from the session. Unfortunate for him, but his car is running fourth. I don't think it doesn't be counted though. At the end of the race, that might just be skipped in terms of grid order positions and giving out points at the end of the session. We'll know more about that when he comes to round 2 next week, Monday. At the same time for this, we got a 3-second penalty being added to Eruptor there for exceeding track limits. Of course, it's going to be very difficult with the drivers and the conditions they're driving here right now. We're on with Jonathan here at the moment in P6. Ice One in front of him by about 5/10. We got Night Shadow 1.7 seconds behind. A bit of a change up happening out from what's happened to one of the drivers. Eruptor dropped down a bit. I think he's trying to get back up a position in second, or he's trying to get ahead. Running in the slipstream of the Mercedes in front of him, takes it around the outside. Might not be able to pull this off unless he makes a switch to the inside, which he does, and actually gets the position up into second. The Ferrari still leads out front by 2.3 seconds now. And now we have Eruptors actually getting an overtake done in the wet conditions. Just is now down to third, about 7/10 behind, and he is trying to keep up with the Alpine in front of him. Sorry, with the Williams in front of him. And let's see what's happening down at the back here with the AlphaTauri of Mad Dayton still disconnected. Delta now has another 3-second penalty added to his time. They're not going to go too well. We're going to have probably a lot of penalties now being added on to drivers with the conditions that we are currently dealing with. Let's have a look at penalties once again. 5 seconds for J Mars out front. Eruptor with 3 seconds of penalties. Justin, no penalties. Mad Dayton will be not counted in this one. Ice One 3 seconds of penalties. We got Delta with 3 seconds. Ace still with 11 seconds and a record in the session so far. Getting back to tires as it is here at the moment. I think we're going to switch tires off. Possibly, actually, we're going to just leave it on for now because we know where they're all on intermediates and running so far in. We're now on lap 25 of 35, so about 10 and a half, actually about 10 laps more to go because we're about to get into lap 26 here. So that's a full 10 laps remaining in the race. In wet conditions, the rain seems to still be coming down and drizzling quite a bit. It's actually come down a bit, a little more than drizzling right now. So it should be wet enough on track for these tires to run with enough grip. Of course, they still have to be careful with their braking and getting around turns and whatnot. So let's see how that's going to be going here. Back on with Eruptor here in second. He's trying to catch up to J Martz out, who is leading the race. Who was leading by at least 1.4 seconds. Is now leading by only 8/10. I see Ice One has actually gotten the move done on Mad Nathan's disconnected car. He's up into P4. Jonathan is the next driver to get ahead of that. Let's see if he's going to be able to do it. We're trying to follow on with him here right now, and he is getting through that. Of course, Mad Nathan's car is going to be ghosted as they all get on through with that. So Jonathan is now up into P5. We got Night Shadow is the next driver to come through with that, followed by Delta, followed by JD, then Scooby, Ace, and Markham down in 12th. So still have 12 drivers yet to finish this race. Another 3-second penalty goes to Scooby there. Unfortunate, but going to be happening quite a bit as we get on through the rest of the race. A 2/10 gap between Ice One and Jonathan here. That Alpine in front of him is trying to keep the gap a bit more than what it is right now. But let's see how much he's able to defend as the Williams of Jonathan is going to try to go around him pretty soon here. Getting through to turn one. He might try to follow in the slipstream. We do have Night Shadow 6/10 behind this. And trying to follow on through. Delta about to get ahead of that disconnected car there and get up into 7th. On the pit straight right about now. 3:10 gap between Ice One and Jonathan. Not able to catch up right about now. Pushes for a move on the inside and tries to outbrake the Alpine here and might actually get this done. He's still side by side with him as Ice One tries to fight that through, hold on to that position as much as he can. Has the inside of the next turn. A bit of contact between them. They're able to keep the car stable still and keep on track, surprisingly enough, and a good point to that. Hopefully they continue on with that same level of racing going on through. Hopefully no more contact though. Let's see what's happening in that case, because it's still a 210 gap between them. Night Shadow getting very close up between this battle here as well, along with Delta now following on through just behind. So let's see what's going to happen in that case. On with Night Shadow right about now, has the Haas of X-Ray Delta behind of him, 4 tenths behind, and that gap is closing even more as we get to the endpoints of this race here. A bit of contact between the Haas and Red Bull so far as they get on through. Gap is now down to just about 2 tenths and under as that Haas driver is trying to push it down on the inside. Let's see if he's able to get the move done and might be able to outbreak him, but doesn't want to push it and take a chance with that right about now in terms of losing that position that he currently has there in 7th. It's possibly going to keep the overtake and wait for it to get just a bit on the straight, and hopefully he's going to be able to get it done around there. Let's see what that works out. Out in front, J-Mart still leads in the Ferrari there, and Eruptor still running in 2nd in the Williams. We got Justin still running 3rd, Jonathan in the next Williams running in 4th, still Ice One in 5th, and looks like Night Shadow is now down into 8th. Delta here trying to keep up with Ice One. 1.4 seconds is what the gap is as he gets around turn 1, loses a bit of time. Let's have a look out front now and see what's happening with J Marts and Eruptor here for the lead of the race. Of course, Jussie another 3 tenths behind them. I think it's a total of 6 tenths separates these three as they're fighting for podium positions here right about now. Each of them on it with Jussie. They're having no penalties. Of course, with J Marts and Eruptor having penalties, that's going to be giving the win to him if he's able to hold on to the gap that he has there right now. Let's see how that works out for him there. J Mart's now down into 8th position. What's happened to his car? I'm not sure if he has any damage here, but has a bit of a mishap because he's now down to 8th. Eruptor now leads the race, and he's missing the entire front wing. Possibly had a bit of an issue there, and possibly lost control of the car because they were not close enough. Actually, they were pretty close enough, but I'm not sure if they had any contact or not. So we'll have to take a pit stop and get a new wing, and possibly he's going to lose a few more positions because of that. Out in front now, 7 tenths is where the gap is between the Mercedes and the Williams driver there in P1. That's Eruptor there. Let's see how that gap is going down the pit straight. Ace gets another 3-second penalty. That's up to 14 seconds for him now. 8 tenths is what the gap is, and he's trying to hold on to that. Going back down to Night Shadow here, chasing after Ice One, 4 tenths close behind, and he's trying to push it through with the slipstream. Not able to catch him to get a gap going though in order to take an overtake chance here. So he's gonna have to just hold on to that position for now. Getting pretty close after the end of this race. Currently on lap 29, still about 6.5 laps remaining to go here. We still have our 12 drivers yet to finish the race, so hopefully we're not going to lose anyone else before the end of the race. We'll see how that works out. Of course, the ERS not as powerful in wet conditions as it is in the dry conditions. Track's starting to get maybe a little bit more wet, but it's not. I don't think it's going to get wet enough for the full wet tires. We're probably going to stay to the intermediates, going all the way to the end of the race. We'll see how that works out. Just another few laps to go, so they're trying to possibly try and just keep these tires going and not do another stop here. I think this tire should be able to pull off about 10 laps on track, so should be able to take it to the end of the race with what we got going on here right now. Out in front, Eruptor leads by 1.2 seconds, and Jonathan now behind them by about 8 tenths, has no penalties, so Eruptor leading the race has a penalty. We'll have a look on how much penalty that is by the time we get around to lap 33 there. We'll switch it on over to that. Night Shadow still chasing after Ice One. Let's see if that gap is going to close in or not. Ace down to 11th on the grid at the moment, not having the best of luck there. Needs to get into the top 10 to try and get some points here for the first race of the season. I think Williams are looking pretty strong though, of finishing with both cars on the podium at the moment on what we're seeing here. So let's see if Eruptors is still going to be finishing on the podium. Remember, he does have a penalty. We're going to have a look at how much that penalty is in just a bit. But if he's able to finish on the podium, that's going to be both Williams getting some extremely good points. And even better if one of them gets the fastest lap in this race. We'll have back a look and see who's going to be getting driver of the day at the end of this. It was looking to be Night Shadow. He's all the way up into 6th. Remember, he started 20th on the grid. and still looking pretty strong. Lap 30 right about now of 35. We got a yellow flag situation happening there. I think that's over and cleared with. I think we're back green and ready to go again. We're still following on with a gap between Jesse and Jonathan for second place on the grid. A 7-10 gap is keeping a bit constant going on through. We do have Night Shadow and Ice One, an 8-10 gap between them as they're now getting into Sector 3. Still chasing after each other with that there. There's a yellow flag situation going on the pit straight there at the moment. Not sure why. I think we have some pit stops happening as well. I think Ace is back into the pits. Do we have a car on the pit lane that's stuck on the pit? And looks like we do there. I'm not sure what happened to J Mart's car, but it's stuck on the middle of the track on the pit straight for some reason. And he has been disqualified from the race, I assume for being parked in a dangerous location on track, which is what the game just disqualified him for, because you cannot just park on the track. Again, it will disqualify you from the race for that. That's why he's down to 20th on the grid there now. Now we're down to 11 drivers remaining. Hopefully we can have at least 10 finish this race, because we're looking at that number right about now to see what's going to happen. We expect we might be losing one more driver in the next 4 laps that we have remaining here right now. Still following on with Jonathan on board right about now. Let's have a look. The rain is, I think, a bit constant still and going through with the same intensity that it kind of started off with. So I think we're going to be finishing the race right on the intermediates that we have on here right about now. Not going to be drying off anytime soon to go back to dries or get wet enough to actually go on to full wets. Not enough time for that either on. I highly doubt anybody would want to do another stop here. Looks like Ace has done another stop to a fresh set of intermediates. Let's see how much good that's going to be doing him there, because I think majority of the drivers are going to try to just get on through to the end of the race with the set of tires that they currently have on here. Back onto the pit straight into the next lap here, into lap 32 now, with Jonathan 5/10s behind. Justy still chasing after him. We got Eruptor leading the race with a pretty impressive gap, 2.3 seconds right now. I think that's going to do him pretty well, even if he makes a bit of a mistake anywhere, and hopefully he doesn't make a big mistake though and possibly lose that position there, because we're now going to switch on over and have a look at the penalty situation. So it's only a 3-second penalty for him out front. He has a 2.6 second gap to Justy there, who is in second. He needs to improve that by another 5/10 right about now, and he will be able to keep the race win when he gets around to that. We're going to switch this and leave it on just penalties right now to keep an eye on what's going. So Ace 14 seconds of penalties, will possibly be finishing there in 11th on the grid. Scooby there will be losing a position to JD. And let's have a look at the rest of the grid, see what's going to happen. Ice One there, 3 seconds penalty, will be losing that position. 6 seconds for Delta. He might be keeping his position actually, or might just be losing 1 position if at all here. We'll see what's going to happen in that case. But Jonathan, they are looking pretty good at the moment at gaining a position on the grid. So it looks like he might still be able to finish second on the podium, even if he crosses the line P3, if he is able to keep this gap going. And looks like Eruptor is going to keep his win for the moment as it is. And but Jonathan takes away second place, actually gets the overtake done pretty cleanly and gets ahead of Justy into second. So he's actually took that away quite well. Now has another 2 laps remaining here to catch up to Eruptor in front if he wants to take away the race win. And let's see if he has enough pace to actually do this, because he's flying at the moment, a 4.3 second gap, and he's gaining time right now on the car in front of him. Of course, they're teammates, so I don't think it matters too much. As long as both of them actually finish on the podium, they're going to be pretty happy about finishing on the front for P1, P2. Not going to be a bad finish for them. But let's see if they're actually able to pull this off. Anything can happen in the next 2 laps that's remaining here right about now. So back on with Jonathan chasing after his teammate, 4.2 seconds as it is there right now. Let's see how that gap holds on through to the rest of the race. Back down to Night Shadow in 6th. Okay, so back with Night Shadow in 6th here, about 9/10s being Ice One. Mad Nathan probably still disconnected from this, which will possibly push Markham to possibly get a position up here and possibly get points, because I don't think that's going to be counted. And the drizzle might be easing up maybe just a bit, but with just about 2 laps or so remaining in the race, really not going to matter too much, because they're going to have to just finish on the same set of tires still. So let's see how that's working out. JD here in 9th right about now, chasing after Scooby in front of him, and gap is actually pretty close, under a second. So let's see if he's able to possibly get an overtake done. We do have some disconnections keep going on and off for some of these drivers on track. Possibly some internet issues, I'm not sure. Or maybe just connection on the server of the game itself. Alright, so finally into lap 34 at the moment here. So really close up closing off this race. So let's see what's going to happen out front. Out front we got Eruptor still leading the race by 3.3 seconds. Has a 3-second penalty. His teammate running in second here, looking to get the race win away from him if that gap falls under 3 seconds. We'll see how that works out. We got Jussie running third, a 3-second penalty, but car behind of him has about 6 seconds of penalties as well. So still, I think they're going to just be keeping their position as it is. Looks like Delta might be finishing P4. Ice1 might be finishing P5 there with only 3 seconds of penalties, and has 4.6 second gap against Night Shadow behind of him. Bad Nathan, not sure what's going to happen to him. He's been disconnected majority of the race, or the entire race, I think. So he might be out of it. Scooby probably move up into 7, JD up into 8, and Ace up into 9th, and that should put Markham up into 10th to still get some points in this race. I think that is, or might be, our finishing order. We'll see what's going to happen in the final lap of this race here. Where are we on board right now? I think we're into the final lap here right now. The final lap there is lap 35. Gap is down to 1.9 seconds between the Williams drivers out front, and they're looking at a P1, P2 finish. So it's a front row finish for them, and that's going to be pretty impressive for the first race of the season. Williams looking extremely strong, and we're going to see if that's going to continue on through the season here with a NOMEX Championship for Tier 1. Alright, so in Sector 2 already, they're looking to get a lap done on Markham if you possibly get by him, but I don't think they will. Either way, going pretty well with the two of them out front. A 4.7 second gap with Justin Dong in third, so I think they're quite clear right about now in terms of keeping their positions that they have there. I think it's just going to be between Eruptors and Jonathan in finishing P1, P2, but looks like that's what is going to be the finish. 17-second penalties for Ace there right about now. He is making a record here with that one. Alright, so in the final sector here right about now, with Eruptor still leading on through by 1.9 seconds against his teammate. Gets around the final turn, has had a pretty good race as he's about to get across the line and take the win for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Not a bad finish for him. His teammate finishes second on the grid with a 3-second penalty that he had. Takes away the win from him though, but he did get across the line P1 still, so not a bad finish. Williams P1, P2 finish. Jussie gets across the line for P3. Delta goes across for P4. An excellent finish from him. We got Ice1 about to come across with a 3-second penalty. And Night Shadow only 2.1 second is what the gap is. So he's going to be making a switch and taking away 5th place as he just did. And that's Ice1 down to 6. Nathan will take 7 for now, but that's going to be debatable with the stewards at the end of this race because he's been disconnected for the entirety of the race. JD crosses the line P8. We got Scooby who is going to cross the line P9. Ace getting across the line P10. And Markham crossing in 11th. But I think a few of our drivers will be moving up into the top 10. And just getting some points in at the end of that. We got, let's see, where is Markham? He's getting along into Sector 3 right about now. He has been about 51 seconds behind. Did some extra stops there, I think, as well. And we'll see who is going to be getting driver of the day on this one as we get to the end of this race. But has been quite an excellent race. Still had just half of the grid finish the race, so not overly bad. Hopefully we can get an improvement on that as we get on to round 2 next week and further into the season. But still a very strong start from the Williams team so far, getting that amount of points. We'll see who gets the fastest lap in this race, because that would have been done during the dry portion of the race there. Alright, so it does go to Night Shadow, who started 20th on the grid and finishes in the top 10. An excellent finish for him, so congratulations for him to that. Alright, so great job from the Williams guys, I gotta say, for Jonathan and Eruptor. They're getting 1-2 finish there for the team. Not too bad for that. I think there's some excellent points are getting started with the Constructors Championship, also with the Drivers Championship, which is what I think is a bit more important there as well, because Jonathan now leads that as the winner of the Hungarian GP as we have it there. So P1 for him, P2 for his teammate the Eruptor. We got Jussie finishing third on the grid. We got Delta takes fourth, Night Shadow fifth, Ice 1 6, Mad Nathan not possibly going to be counted here, so that's going to be JD up to 7, Scooby up to 8, Ace up to 9th, and Markham up to 10. The rest of the grid have not finished the race. DNF all the way through, and 1 disqualification there, unfortunately for that. So that's the end of that session there, guys. Thanks to everyone who joined on to the streams there, whether it was on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. Thanks for everyone who joined up. Please make sure you guys leave a like on the video as well there on YouTube. Really do appreciate that. And join us again. I think our next esports stream should be on Thursday. We might have other streams in between that. Join the Discord, have a look. We'll post some stuff on what's going to happen later on for that. But thanks to everyone who joined on the stream and who shared the stream link out as well. I did enjoy having you guys in the chat there. So thanks again. Look forward to seeing everyone back in the live stream chat on the next stream.